Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is not just Springfield. Unfortunately, Charleroi, Pennsylvania is a city that hasn't really been talked about as much, but it seems like the Haitian migrants have also overwhelmed that city so much to where if you go in the main center of town, the sewage system is so backed up from the influx of the Haitian migrants, you can smell the feces, the literal feces in the road. You can smell the stench because the sewage system is so backed up. And there's been stories on Charleroi. It's not as known as obviously Springfield was in the news. You had Trump reference it several times. Aurora, Colorado. Well, we've got another one where it's like they import these people and they, where do they send them? And it's like they send them to places to work. Well, these people have very limited vocabulary in terms of English. It's just a big problem. It's more of an issue or a problem than a solution. You're trying to put a band-aid on a problem. Now liberals, I was looking and I saw a CNN clip. You've got the one conservative guy, Scott Jennings, and then they're all at a table and they all pile on him. But I saw him trying to argue that this is just not right. You cannot influx a bunch of Haitian migrants into a city, and now it's being reported these kids, they go to school and it's like 50% Haitian migrants. And of course, all of these people, all these white liberal people saying it's totally fine, they would never actually have their kids in one of those classrooms. They're complete hypocrites. But you have to, but for them, it's fine. And if you say anything different, you're racist and you can't stand up for yourself. It's the same thing that happened in Springfield. When JD Vance and Trump stood up for Springfield, they got called racist and they said, oh, all the bomb threats, turned out those were all hoaxes from overseas. That was confirmed by DeWine. And so, but you can't do it. You cannot defend yourself. You have to just accept it. And so look at this. 2,000 Haitian immigrants have arrived in this small town of Charleroi over the past 2 years. The influx has overwhelmed. This is just another situation like Springfield. These are going to start popping up in other places. They have to put the people somewhere. They have to put. We know they've gone to New York City. They put them in the bigger population centers, but now they're starting to use the excuse, oh, these smaller cities, they need workers, so let's throw them and slap 20,000 into the smaller cities, which is just a huge problem at this point, seemingly overwhelming the sewage systems. And let's see what this is a crazy clip.
Yes, sir.
About the Haitians.
Yes, sir.
Good thing to ask. You go next walk down where Rigo's is.
Yeah.
You can smell the raw sewage.
Down in Rigo's.
These 120-year-old pipes can't handle.
It's a small old city, and the influx of these people. There was not supposed to be. What he's saying is there's not supposed to be this many people here. There's too many. The sewage systems can't handle it, and it's starting to seep through, and you can smell it.
All the sewage is getting pumped in now.
Why is all the sewage getting pumped in?
From all the people.
Really?
Yeah.
So what? It's one
All the new
block down?
immigrants.
Look, you just missed it. Rigo's right over.
Okay.
Go up and go down. You can
And you can smell it?
All throughout the day, different places.
And that's a new thing. Really?
And so they end up doing it, and they go around. It's just like, this is crazy that this is popping up in other places. This you can see it isn't just Springfield; it's happening everywhere. Charleroi, Pennsylvania, a low-income town of just 4,000. The immigrant population has increased by 2,000% over the past 2 years, and it's almost all Haitians. Here is one Charleroi councilman. So this will be interesting.
You know, the sad part about all this thing, and honestly, I don't care. I'll shoot straight from the hip. Frankly, I wish I could come face to face for 60 seconds, okay, with whoever was behind all this and bringing the immigrants in to Charleroi for only one reason. Where the hell's the money should be coming to Charleroi? Okay, why was it all dumped on us and we're not being funded with anything? Okay, and again, we can't even meet ends meet with our budget. And so now, where are we going to get this extra revenue to pay for them?
The city, it sounds like it's a complete mess. They just dumped them there. They're dumping them in these small towns, and the towns are just getting overwhelmed. And so, this is not, it's not just Springfield. It's not fear-mongering. This is what's happening in small towns, really in the Midwest, white, small Midwestern towns. I guess, people wouldn't classify Pennsylvania as Midwest, but Rust Belt, Ohio, Pennsylvania, it's happening in these Rust Belt towns, 2,000% increase. And you've got a city councilman crying out and saying, all these people have been dumped on us. We're not getting any funding for this. And it's just going to make the housing problem worse, which for young people, that's arguably one of the most important issues when it comes to the election. The ridiculously high housing prices and dumping this influx immigrants in general, it's going to make it a more competitive market. It's going to be a problem. That's why Kamala Harris has come out and said, don't worry, first generation home buyers, you get $25,000. That's going to make it even worse with the interest rates. Great. So the solution is going to create a bigger problem. But it's going to band-aid it, and the immigrants get the $25K to put a down payment on their home. So that's what's going on there. And so this, again, it's not just Springfield. It's very bad. I also wanted to mention this. Monmouth is a complete joke. Monmouth was graded out as one of the worst pollsters in 2020. Why anyone takes their polls seriously? This is the example. And again, when you look into these polls, you don't just look at, oh, Kamala Harris is leading. I'm actually not even sure what this poll was. National voter poll from Monmouth University, support of 2024 candidates. So what is the total support here? It looks like it has Harris up by 5 nationally, I would imagine. I think it has Harris up by 5 in the new Monmouth poll. And then you can see how they weighted it. Left and moderate left, center versus... I mean, it's hard not to laugh at this. So with the actual numbers... Monmouth's Harris plus 5 poll was only 25% right or moderate right. So they're doing a poll with 25% conservatives. Do we think the electorate this year, and this is the national poll, this is just popular vote, they think they think the national popular vote is going to have 25% conservatives, 59% liberal, and then the rest in the center. I mean, this is just, and it was only plus 5 for Harris. And so they put out these, like, oh my God, how does this poll, this is a pollster that's graded out very well according to 538. Remember, I already went through yesterday talking about how the number one most accurate pollster in the 2020 election based on error in the general popular vote, Atlas Intel, they were graded lower than Quinnipiac, which was the most inaccurate pollster. So the most inaccurate pollster was graded higher on 538's polling grades than the most accurate pollster. That's the extreme we're dealing with the manipulation and how ridiculous it is. And then it's all the Republican polls. Why are they all the most accurate? They're all the most accurate. And this is the crap that you get. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Monmouth, what's the point of releasing it? 25% right-wing poll. You know, if you want to do like, you want to oversample, you want to talk about an oversampling, 59 to 25. If you want to say, 44 to 40 and then the rest independents, or 4% Dem oversampling for a general popular vote, I can understand that. Oh my God. And these polls go into I wonder if this poll went into Real Clear and it went into its aggregate. It probably did, honestly. I don't know. But, it just goes to show you how horrible these, how do you release a poll that has 59% left to moderate left versus 25% right to moderate right? It truly is remarkable. And then libs use it. And then it's just like these people, they bash their head into a freaking, into it. And then liberals will use this, and it's like they just bash their head into a wall over and over and over again. How did we get it wrong? How did we get it wrong? You're oversampling Dems by 30 points. You wonder why you got it wrong. Oh my goodness. But it's like they're trying to trigger us with it. I mean, it's unbelievable. But this is the big stuff. This is happening in other towns, not just Springfield. Remember, they tried to gaslight everyone and say it's racist, and they'll probably call these people racist too for talking about it. You can't even talk about it. If you get an influx of 20,000 Haitian migrants, you have to accept it. If you say anything negative about it in terms of their style, their way of life, all the car accidents, your insurance going way up if you live in these cities because the accidents are going through the roof. I'm sure we're going to get all the accident reports, the numbers. It's probably going to be crazy. I mean, they're reporting the accidents are ridiculous there, and it doesn't surprise me. You have to accept this. And if you don't accept it, you're racist. That's it. And that's the gaslighting that they use. And that's what they use against JD Vance and Trump. And then they start blaming things on them. And it's like the inverse. It's like, no, it's your fault that that city got 20,000 migrants. You're the ones. You need to accept it. If you don't accept it, you're racist. And we're going to blame you for bomb threats that were called in from overseas. And they're all hoaxes. So that's really what's going on when it comes to it. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Links to that's always in the description.